Okay, our onions and fennel and carrots and garlic and celery have all started to cook down. So to this, I'm going to start building my flavors here. So first I'm going to put in some very expensive wine. Can you see it? It's not really. The best wine you could afford, right? Well, right now that tells you where I'm at in my life. This is the best wine I can afford. So about 3 cups of wine, maybe a little less, 2.5 cups of wine. And I'm gonna give that a turn. And to that, I'm going to add our bay leaves. 2 whole bay leaves. And I'm going to add a bouquet de garni, which is really Thai herbs. I got some thyme, some rosemary, and some parsley. I'm going to throw that in there. And give it a turn over here. And I tied it with string so I can get it out later. We don't want to have all that stuff in there. Same thing with the bay leaves. We're going to pull them out when we're done. So we're going to try to reduce this a little bit. But in the meantime, I'm going to add my tomato paste. And that's going to give us our saucy sauce. Wonderful brownish color along with the wine. Of course, I used red wine. I used, call it Paisano. I guess you could use Cabernet, what have you, whatever you have in the house. I have table wine, so that's what I use. Try to give this a stir. Now, here's the magic. The magic is coming. Now, we're going to take in our little mixture here, and we're going to put, actually we're not going to do that. So, that's going, right? Meanwhile, we're going to take our asabuco. Actually, we're not going to take our asabuco. We're going to take our plum tomatoes, and we're going to smush them in our pan. So I like to put my asabuco on top of something. In this case, I'm putting some plum tomatoes that we made earlier in the bottom of the pan so they can sit on that. And then we are going to very gingerly take our asambuco, which is right here, and we're going to place them on top of those plum tomatoes. I don't know that you could see that over there. My other asabuco. Meanwhile, this other saucepan is reducing, and I'm going to continue to turn to reduce this a little bit. We like wine, but we don't want it to taste like wine all the way. And this is red, but it's going to start turning a brownish color. Now, I'm going to taste this for salt. Always want to taste your food. But I need salt. Tomato paste, sweet tomatoes. This is reducing. You can tell how much it reduces. You know, you're guessing. No, you look at the side of the pan. The side of the pan will show you where you started, and then you can pretty much figure out where you're at. So we've got we're about 1/3. Taste this again. Okay. Give me a nice chunky mixture, because the liquid that we're going to use to cover our ossobuco is going to be some nice beef broth, and that's going to finish this off before we put it in the oven. Speaking of the oven, I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to bake at 350. Bake time is going to be 3 hours. Oh my goodness. Gotta love my 20th century technology here in this hovel that I live in. Ay, ay, ay. Really? That's the timer, folks. I think the new stoves you can actually put numbers in there. Yeah, not this one. Not so much. Oof. All right, my thumb is getting a workout on the timer. Can I just hold it? Oh, if you hold it, it goes. Okay, good. So our timer's going. Our liquid is reducing. I don't taste the wine as much as I did. So when we look at the side of our pan, we're pretty much reducing. Also, if you push, I don't know more ways to go, but if you push and it makes a path and it stays there for a little bit, then you know you've got a thickened sauce. And this is not the last step for the sauce either, because when we're done with the ossobuco, we're going to strain it, all the vegetables, I should say, and then come out with this thick sauce. And then I'm going to put the sauce in a pot and skim off whatever fat residue we have that I can get. And I'm going to show you a trick for that too. I think I showed you the last time, but it works pretty well. There's two ways actually. Okay, so this, see how it's now, it's starting to, you can't see. Can you see? Watch. I go like this. It takes a while for it to come back. So she's done. She's reduced. Okay. So now we shut this off. We're going to switch positions here. I'm not a lefty. But okay, let's take this and this. And we're going to pour our delicious reduced sauce all over our ossobuco. Now we're going to take this. There's a lot of sauce in here, but that's okay. Could have used a bigger pan. And we're going to finish this with some beef broth. Really? Some beef broth. I can't wait for eating today. Really? So you took off the cap from the beef broth and there's another plastic thing underneath. Okay. There we go. And I'm just going to pour this in here. This will give us some more delicious gravy. Now they say, oh, you don't want to boil it, you don't want to cover it that much. I like it covered as much as possible. Now, let's see if we can get some of this wonderful sauce underneath our ossobuco as well. Ooh, look at that, that's going to be good. Here's our bouquet. So, now we are going to take our tin foil and cover this tightly. If I can get it started, okay. Cover it as tightly as you can. And put this in an oven, preheated oven, 350 degrees for a total of 3 hours. And yes, folks, I'm going to be serving this over cheesy polenta again. Okay, this goes in the oven. Be very careful because the liquid is very filled up to the top. Okay. We'll see you in a bit.